bureau that my wife said she had. Wanted to mention extra that I let the public know about this. That my made a post a couple months ago that my wife says she has a connection. For here to discuss this 13th, 2023. I'm sorry, 24. 2024, March the 13th. I'm here to discuss this scar here that I have on my face. I made a post a couple months ago and describing what happened. Somebody took it down. Maybe it's the connection of the bureau that my wife says she has a connection. And it's a possibility that her connection took the post down because they don't want information to be revealed. However, I think it's very vital that the public know about this person who's out there stabbing and cutting people. I think it was a box cutter, actually, who got it cut me. I was walking down side streets in Detroit. Side street that they don't have any street. They didn't have any street lights, which is Waysworth, between Cheyenne and Ward. My uncle stayed over there, 2 houses off the corner, and I had to. Basically, I was evicted from my home here in Redford, Michigan, illegally. And this is the reason why they have to take this post down, because there's a lot of people involved, and there's a lot of people that possibly can go to prison. Police officers who lied and said they helped me when they didn't, and procedures that they were supposed to take and they failed to do, which was looking as if they were intentionally trying to hurt me, which I'm basically saying they did, because they didn't apply pressure to the open wounds that I had. Obviously, they didn't care because they probably was told to do otherwise to help hurt me. And I have to repost this. And one thing I wanted to mention extra that I want to focus on is that the truth don't change. So it don't matter if they continue to take this post down or any other post, the story's still gonna stay the same. And basically, because it's the truth. See, a lie gonna change, but the truth gonna stay the same. I don't have to write it down. I don't have to record this. But I'm saying this for the people that's out there that need to know. It's for me to journalize this, for me for future references. I lived it. I was there. This story don't the same because the things that happened, I actually had to do. So here we go. I have to take that show these stab cuts on my forearm, which I use for a shield. I use my arm for a shield because the guy attacked me. So I had to block him from cutting me. And as you can see, I use my forearm like a Nike swoop. And the other one, I believe it was another one up there somewhere. These are the cuts that I use for a shield, my forearm. This is the cut that he got when he was walking past me. And him and another guy, he was light-skinned guy and it's a dark-skinned guy. The dark-skinned guy, family stayed right there at the corner house on Cheyenne. I've seen him going in and out the house. Light-skinned guy I had never seen before. That was the first time I had seen him. But they was walking past me and the light-skinned guy flicked and hit my face. So at first, reaction, I felt something touch my face. I was kind of, you know, stunned that somebody would actually touch another man's face walking past. So when I turned, he was making these gestures like, yeah. So that indicated to me that it was a issue, and he did that on purpose. Now, those of you who know about fresh razor like cuts, you don't know you cut. You don't at first, and not until the nerves send those messages to your brain that you're cut. Like for instance, the pain and the blood. You see the white meat and then the blood, the airheads, then it sends signals because those nerves been cut. So it's nothing to respond until the other actions take place. So by that time, the guy was yelling, yeah. Then I'm putting two and two together that he touched my face on purpose, but I didn't necessarily know I was cut at that time. I didn't know at all, actually. I didn't know I was cut in the face. Not until I put my hands up to defend myself, and he started swinging the blade, and I blocked it with my forearms. When I blocked it with my forearm, that's when I noticed that it had something in his hand that was sharp. Now I couldn't see it because it don't have no street lights. That's another reason why they taking these posts down, because there's no side street lights on Wadesworth, Wade Worth. I think that's how you make sure. Wade Wadesworth. Oh yeah, Worth. Wadeworth. Wadesworth. That's the side street. It's a block after Plymouth Road. So coming through that Wadesworth between Cheyenne and Ward, they ain't got no street light. And right there in that area, that side street, by the alley between walking from one side to the next, from one corner to the next, no street light. So I couldn't see what he had in his hand. I never seen what he had in his hand. But by the time he got cutting on my forearm, which I wish I knew he had that in his hand, I wouldn't have left my arms up like that. But because I left my forearm up like that, he cut. And blood started pouring out my face. By this time, I started feeling wetness on my chest. That's because my jugular vein got nicked. Now I'm leaking. Excuse me. Because the classes that I took in first aid at Cali Community College in Kansas, by me paying attention and learning what the teachers were teaching me, I was able to quickly understand what was going on and what I had to do, which was stop the bleeding with pressure. Now, I didn't know that it was my jugular vein, but I should have kind of had an idea, I guess, the way it was pouring. It was like pouring out a jug of liquid. So that's why I had to take off and run. Since my uncle stayed two doors down, I knew if I can get to him, who's a Vietnam veteran, veteran of the service. And I know him and my cousin, elderly, 67, in their 70s, I'm sorry, that I knew they was going to know what to do. And I knew I was going to get some help. So I ran over there and knocked on the window, doors, whatever. And my cousin, who stayed upstairs, told me later, his name is Blue. He the one who told me, he the one who called the paramedics. So I went back out to the middle of the street because I'm waiting for the paramedics to get help because I'm bleeding. I'm leaking a lot of blood everywhere. And I didn't want all that blood on this porch, even though I leaked a lot of blood on this porch. So I got off the porch. So, a lot of blood. He had just painted his porch with paint and wooden porch. He just painted it, old school Alabama people, they paint stuff like that, they wooden porches and stuff. So he painted it and I'm getting blood everywhere. So I left off the porch. And I had to stop the leaking by putting pressure on my face. And this is the main reason why they want to take down my post. Because once I took my hand, once I put my hand there and was stopping the pressure, I had to kind of balance both of them. So I had to put my arm on my leg and press here, bend down and press at the same time. So I had to stop both of them. So eventually, Detroit Police Department pulled up. I was expect that would be the second precinct, the big light skinned, muscle bound guy got out, and he was real aggressive, like in his personality, and get on the ground. So by me taking law school class, majoring in criminal justice, majoring in law, that I knew that I had to do what the officer said, because that what my professor told me the first day of college. No matter what a police officer tell you to do it. But I was balancing the fact that I was bleeding to death and I had to listen to this officer, but I didn't need any more confusion between anybody, especially a police officer that could possibly put me in handcuffs for not following the order. So I didn't trust that. So I did what he said, which was get on the ground, laid on the ground, because I thought he was going to put pressure on, because he can see I was leaking, pouring blood, so I thought he was going to put his hands with the gloves on he had on and start pressing to stop the bleeding, because from my understanding, the officer's supposed to have these type of trainings. So he didn't do none of that. In fact, he told me while I was on the ground to remove my hand, and that's when I said, I'm about to die. I knew it then. I said, I'm about to die, because if he won't allow me to put pressure on my face to stop the bleed, I'm about to sit here and bleed to death laying in the middle of the street. So as soon as I said that to myself, I can see the flashing of the lights off the environment, which was the other houses. I could see the lights from the ambulance, paramedics flashing, and it was coming down Waysworth to Cheyenne. It was coming from that same direction I came from, and then it turned left. And as I seen the lights, I said, well, I got a chance now. I got a chance. And I don't know if the other officer there, I don't know if they was like disappointed. I would say so. I would say so. They was disappointed because the one officer who told me to remove my hand, he basically was trying to kill me, and that's the reason why they took the post down. But it's not gonna. The story's not gonna change, guys. If, I suppose he's from the second precinct. Everybody at the second precinct know who he is. So they didn't went and took down my post like this gonna stop me from knowing what happened, and it's gonna stop y'all from hearing what I say happened. Cause when I said it the first time, it was already heard. So by them coming taking down my post, ain't doing nothing but pissing me off even more. So what ended up happening? The paramedics pulled up. They put me on the gurney, and once I got on the truck, I looked at the paramedic, the African American young man who was started immediately sewing me up, my face, immediately. Immediately, he started sewing my face up. Once he did that, he started doing that. I looked at him and told him good night, because I knew I was about to fall asleep. Pass out, whatever you want to call it. I passed out. I closed my eyes while he was sewing me. I woke up the next day. I was stitched up here and there and right here. I didn't see none of the stitches that he put in me. I didn't feel any of it. I was asleep when he did it. I was passed out. So we get to the hospital. Sinai Hospital, right down Schaefer. I guess we took Schaefer straight down. I would hope. I was asleep. I woke up when we get to actually the first time I woke up was for about 2 seconds. 2 seconds. At two different cases. The first time was when the ambulance stopped and they opened the door. I smelled that air when they opened the door, and I went back out. Then I woke up again. I heard the doctor talking as they was pushing me into the inside of the hospital at Sinai on the back side in the emergency entrance. And I'm familiar with that entrance. So I was waking up a little bit because I heard and felt them that machine that you use to put on the chest to revive the heart, defibrillator. I felt the defibrillator because they set it between my legs, between my knees. And I was thinking, this is really odd here. This is disrespectful. This is so disrespectful, which I probably am wrong. But that's what I was thinking at the time. I recall thinking, this is so disrespectful. He got the defibrillator right there between my legs. And I went and I fell out again. I heard the doctor, and the doctors and the paramedics said something, and I was out again. I woke up. The next time I woke up, the nurse was in my face. That was 10 o'clock the next morning. This incident happened at 10 o'clock at night. I woke up the next day. It was 10 o'clock, 10:40, something like that. I think that's the time that I seen on my phone. 10:40. The nurse when I woke up, she was this close to my face. And it startled me, and I jumped back because I didn't know who she was. I didn't know what that was in my face. A white woman who looked just like Jennifer Anderson, from France. Gorgeous, right? So she right here in my face startled me. Because of the jugular vein and some other medical terms from the artery that was obviously not severed. It was pinched open, razor open, or however you say it. A lot of the blood that goes to the brain didn't have an opportunity to go. I'm learning what happened to me. So when I woke up, I couldn't really function as well as I usually can when you wake up. And in the morning you still rebooting anyway. So she was as she startled me, and she said, "Well, you got cut last night." And I was like, "Okay, I do remember that. I see why I'm at." I said, "You were in my face. You're a nurse. I can understand that." And she said, "And you got cut on your arm." Now I didn't remember that. That didn't boot up yet. And I was like, "Where?" And she said, and I'm looking on my arm, and I couldn't figure out. She's like, "It's on the other side." Because I remember I did get cut, so I couldn't find where it's at. And at the time, I can't find where it's at. I couldn't. And she turned my arm for me like this so I could see it. I said, "Oh." So I'm not fully booted. And, they took all my clothes because it was drenched with blood. One of the nurses came in, grabbed my pants out the medical hamper they have in there before I could take pictures of it. Because if I had an opportunity to get my pants and take pictures, because I didn't boot up quick enough. So by the time she told me to get up and get to the shower, the nurse was already coming in there and taking it out. So by the time I figured out, she done ran in here and grabbed them before I could take the picture of them. Because obviously somebody told her, go in there and get them clothes. Because he going to take a picture of, because he's the type of person that go on Facebook Live and report everything that happened to him. So I just wanted y'all to know that, the story not going to change, and the officers, I'm alleging that one of the officers, the light-skinned officer, wasn't doing his job. In fact, he was doing something totally different than his job when he didn't help me to even try to stop the bleeding coming. I'm bleeding from here and here and here, and it's another cut up here. So it's one, two, which is that length. 3, 4, and I think it's 5, right? Five different cuts. And I'm bleeding out of them, and he didn't try to give me a hand, which I'm not upset with, because they not supposed to, by law, put their hands on us. They not supposed to touch us. They not medical people, they officers by law. But the thing is, he told me to take my hand away from when I was stopping the bleeding. With that being said, I'll talk to y'all later. Which is Waysworth, between Cheyenne